Well, hello there. Today I thought I'd run you through some summoner spell considerations for Yorick when playing top lane. Now, I want to start this off with helping you understand the way I play. I play a poke and space kind of Yorick. So that means even though I build on the bruisery side, where there's health and attack damage, I often do not commit to an all-in. I poke using ghouls and maiden, I land my E, and then if it's a good opportunity, I bonk people with a shovel, and then try to peel back, try to space, and then wait for my cooldowns. That's generally how I approach team fighting. And if there are no laners, split push as usual, what makes it easier for Yorick to do. So with that playstyle in mind, my summoner spell selections are based on helping me maximize that kind of idea without sacrificing too much. By the way, I also have internet issues, so this is a good way to share what I know based on the games I played with Yorick when I'm not able to play games. Most people will use Flash. League of Legends has a lot of skill shots, and Flash enables you to dodge a lot of those skill shots. The only concern is I'm going to move my head just a little bit for this discussion. All right, I think you're good there. The only challenge I have with Flash is it's 300 seconds of a cooldown. My preference is Ghost, where it is 240 seconds cooldown. What does that mean? In practice, Ghost comes up 60 seconds sooner than Flash. So you will have Ghost more often than you'll have Flash. Does that mean that Ghost is better? Not really. I like Ghost because you ignore unit collision. It just helps when it comes to escaping. And top lane is kind of a long lane. The side lanes are usually really, really long. So that means if you have the opportunity to run your enemy champions down, if you have Ghost more. Big Flash, once it's consumed, it's a brief blink spell and nothing happens after that. But for Ghost, it gives you some time to catch up, and especially since if you're playing Yorick, you land your E, you gain an increase in movement speed so that your ghouls can jump onto and stick to your target, and you can gap close because Yorick doesn't have dashes. So I like Ghost. In addition, not only because of the cooldown and the benefits that Ghost gives, what I've noticed when using Ghost is that I look at my mini-map more. And to me, that's really important. As a casual player, I play Swiftplay. As a casual player, one of the things that I can learn more is to understand the mini-map. If I see the jungler bot lane, it gives me some confidence to maybe try a play for top lane. But if I don't see the jungler in the map, or I just saw them briefly try to gank or make an appearance mid lane, and then I kind of make a guess as to where they might be pathing next. They might be pathing top lane, which means it informs how I play the lane. Do I want to push the wave a little more? Do I want to freeze it? Do I want it to push into my turret, so I'm safer from a gank? All of those decisions could be made if I have a better understanding and better capacity of reading the mini map. Unfortunately, if I take Flash, there's just that extra overconfidence that it's okay, I'll just be able to flash this summoner spell or that ult or that taunt. With Ghost, I don't have that overconfidence. I realize I'm Yorick. I don't have a dash. I have limited mobility. So that means outside of movement speed, there is no way for me to dodge any of the skill shots. So that means I have to be aware of who I'm fighting against, because top lane really is a game of you, the other laner, and the jungler. So if we could spot the jungler early using the minimap, you can effectively use Ghost to prevent any of the ganks from happening. As long as you can see it from a certain distance, you can just run away to turret. and then there are no fancy mechanics that you have to pull, or outplay. Also, I'm not a big mechanical player type of guy. I'm more overview, game sense, bigger strategy. And Yorick doesn't have any complex mechanics either, I would argue. Once you play maybe 10 games, you kind of have a good understanding what Yorick does. Okay, so Ghost, and then if you've seen enough of my videos, I take Exhaust as a second summoner spell. The reason is because Exhaust is a 40% damage reduction. And that's helpful because when I play Swiftplay, it's essentially blind pick. I don't know if I'm facing a Riven top, a Master Yi top, Darius, Silas, any aggressive hypercarry, Varus top, which is really popular right now. Or I don't know if another lane will kind of snowball out of control. Exhaust just helps me either win any kind of fight at top lane, or late game when I have to join a team fight, I can at least exhaust the carry or the one that deals the most damage, because 40% scales into late game. That means that you are bringing down a fed Yasuo or a fed Vayne. You're lowering their damage percentage to 60% just by one spell. It's granted it's only a few seconds, but sometimes it's those few seconds that prevent you from dying or a teammate dying, and being able to CC them so that you can pounce on that enemy carry. So Ghost and Exhaust are underrated in my opinion. Ghost also, sorry, I thought I'd mention, Ghost also is powerful because even when you pop Ghost, you don't just pop Ghost and then it goes away, right? There are a few seconds where you can start using Ghost, especially in a team fight. This is going to be useful because the way I play Yorick is poke in space. And if I have so much move speed, it's going to be harder for people to land their skill shots on me. And it's going to give me that extra time, extra few seconds to wait for my cooldowns, land my E, use my bonk if necessary, my cage, or release Maiden if necessary. And all that decision making is based on how much space and breathing room I have in between a fight, or if I need to make that decision. Of course, there are downsides. I understand that Ghost and Exhaust are not perfect, but those are just my preferences right now. Is there still an opportunity for you to use teleport? I think so, because let's say that there's a dragon, there's kind of a scuffle in the dragon pit, and you realize that both teams are just dancing, nothing's really happening. You could try to hide into a bush that's presumably not warded, and then you could TP to top lane and then split push there. Or you could release Maiden there, make your way back to base, and then be with full health, full mana, and then come back to the dragon fight if it hasn't already started. That way you are able to secure more objectives, and it gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to split pushing, which Yorick is really good at. But I haven't really used TP since the start of the new season, just because home guards, in particular for Swiftplay, home guards is really powerful. Now in regular Summoners Rift, it's already pretty good, but at a certain point, about midway, I think, home guards has a reduced movement speed. It kind of tapers off, it decays. But for Swiftplay, if you come from base at 615 movement speed about mid game, you come from base, and then you start with 615 movement speed because of home guard until where the home guard area or buff ends, you will maintain that 615 movement speed. Excuse me. Usually, the first reason why we would take teleport is to come back to lane, to maintain tempo, so you're fresh in terms of mana, experience, and then you've cashed in your money, all of those last hits or a kill, and you're able to buy new items, and then come back, have your opponent at a disadvantage. They're lower on HP, they have less mana, or they don't have their items bought yet. Usually that's the reason, in addition to the whole cross mapping thing. But because of home guards, it doesn't feel like worth your summoner slot anymore. I feel like exhaust will be much more powerful because 40% reduction on a Riven ult. It won't be it in the best case scenario. Instead of Riven's ult fully killing you, it only damages you or leaves you at critical health, which still gives you an opportunity to fight back in some way. And I think those are really the four that I have consideration. I'm not a jungler, so I don't use smite. Heal, I haven't really found a use for because the 40% reduction from exhaust is just so powerful. Because a lot of the top lane champions are snowbally, or I haven't seen a lot of tanks play the top lane. Most of them are duelists, Fiora, Irelia, Darius, Riven, snowball champions, Master Yi, Silas, Varus, who wants to poke you out. So a 40% reduction in damage is going to be useful. Would it be more helpful to have Ignite when playing against Silas or Aatrox? Silas, Aatrox, who else likes to heal? Those kind of champions. A Briar if you're fighting against a Briar jungle. Would Ignite be useful? Yes. The challenge is because Swiftplay is essentially blind pick, you won't know if you're fighting against Briar or any of those champions until you go in game. So I would say Ghost and Exhaust is blind pickable for me, but for most people, maybe Flash and Exhaust will be better. It's up to you. It depends on your playstyle. So hopefully that gives you more a better understanding of what kind of summoner spells might be useful for you, depending on your playstyle for Yorick.